Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an episode of Career Mode. We're here, and I want to apologize that there is only going to be one video today, and there's probably going to be only one video till about next Wednesday, or maybe even next Thursday, just because I'm actually moving down to London, and I've got to be packing up. I've got to spend a lot more time doing all that sort of shenanigans, so I don't necessarily have the time to make 2 videos a day, and I do apologize for that, but I'm going to try my best to get out at least 1 video a day, and I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to move down to London. Do any of my followers, any of my sort of viewers, or anyone that's listening to this video happen to live in London? If so, what should I keep an eye out for? No, I'm just joking. But we actually have a big game on Career Mode. We have Everton versus Liverpool. This is the Merseyside derby. And if there was one way for me to restore faith in the fans to restore faith in me, it was going to be to win a Merseyside derby. This was always going to be a key game. As you can see, I went with that 4-1-2-1-2 formation. It seems to be working out pretty well. And most importantly, it fits in all the key players on the team. And when you can fit in like all your best players into one team, inevitably you're just gonna have a much better team, and things tend to work out a bit well. I really enjoyed the 4-2-3-1 formation, and it worked well for me. But I just feel as though I want players to improve and improve a lot. So it was more of me having to get as many players in on the game as possible. And a really sneaky goal there by Gerrard. I decided to start Gerrard in an attacking midfield role just because he has experience and it's a Merseyside derby. It was if there was any time for him to shine, it was going to be in a Merseyside derby, and he actually gets the first goal. He made an absolutely outstanding run as well, and it was good to be picked out as well. But unfortunately, due to a really good play from Everton, if anything, Gibson manages to fire that into the top right, and it was 1-1. And I was a little bit nervous. I really did want to impress the fans in this game. This was a really big game. It was away at Everton as well, so it was even more reason to do better. And I just wanted to get goals and a lot of goals. Unfortunately, President Obama hasn't been on his top game as of recently, but Sturridge really seems to be coming through and doing a really good job. Again, a beautiful ball played through to Sturridge, and a great finish from him as well. At last, he's finishing his dinner. It is driving me up the wall how many really easy opportunities he had missed previously, but it's good to see that he's really performing, stepping up to the mark, because at first I was like, I might have to sell this guy come January, but not anymore. I mean, he is really doing the business. And Gerrard, I'm so glad I played him in this game. He is just being so instrumental to this goal scoring frenzy as Sturridge picks up another goal. Like I said, Aubameyang there, not really getting on the ball too much. He's not really being involved as much as I would have hoped. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but it did end up going 3-1, and that was a huge victory for me. A Merseyside derby, my first Merseyside derby, and probably the most important, but it's great that we managed to get it off to a win. Really happy with that. And as you can see, they came close several times, but a 3-1 victory is pretty solid, and if anything, I'm really happy with that result. As you can see, Aubameyang only there with the 6.8 rating, and Sturridge there picking up man of the match. So a little, like I said, pretty disappointed with Aubameyang recently, but hopefully he steps up his game and he can find his goal scoring boots soon and get back into form. Quickly after, though, I did have this European League game, and again, all my players were on good fitness because they'd have a bit of time to rest. But in the up and coming matches, you'll see that I'll have a game on Sunday, and then on Tuesday I'll have a game, which is just absolutely bizarre. I mean, those are some crazy schedules to be playing games. But sometimes I've spoke about it in almost every team that I've had it with. There's never been a team that I've not had fixture congestion problems, and in honesty, Liverpool is the one that I'm probably most comfortable with because of the amount of depth we have in this squad, because of the amount of different players that I can play when and where I want. I mean, usually when I go to a team, you have the usual players, and then the bench is usually quite weak. But fortunately, this time around, we have such a solid and really young bench, which means every time I do decide to swap someone out, I know they're gaining experience, they're growing as a player, and most importantly, as far as the football team goes, the value of each player increases, and that's what's so important. I should have a squad report for you guys relatively soon. I'm excited to see how they've grown, see how they've gotten on with things. But one thing I do want to say, and I was reading an interview from the guy who essentially coded out FIFA 13 career mode, and what he said was, so the little press interview things besides just before each game, the bits where it's like you can spam X and then you'll be put into a press conference situation. Those are actually really important. So when I first started playing career mode, up until now, really, I'd always thought they were just a bit gimmicky, just to add to the sort of feel of career mode, but you've never really gained anything from it. But in fact, fact, it can play a huge difference. As you can see, Mvia there, unfortunately injured with a sprained ankle. That's probably him out for a couple of weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. So hopefully not a month. But like I was saying, those little press conferences, those can actually boost the morale of your players. So if I spam X or whatever and I praise my team, it actually boosts the morale of your team. So guys, that's probably my biggest hint or the tip for you chaps, is don't just ignore that little X button sign. As I don't necessarily do it in this episode, but you guys will see as I go on in the future, I do start to attend these press conferences, and I recommend you guys do it as well. It'll increase their morale, their just everything about them. They'll become more happy at the club, and obviously when they're more happy, they tend to play better on the pitch. But big game against Newcastle. Newcastle are a solid side. I believe they still have Cisse there. Yeah, Cisse on previous career modes, he has transferred over to Chelsea, but not this time. This time he's decided to stay at Newcastle. And they also have Gutierrez there, Obertan as well, Sissoko, who is just so deadly. But a little bit nervous, to be honest with you, because I know that last time I played Newcastle, when I was over at QPR, they were always a really tough team to go up against. And as you can see, it is snowing. I despise the snow and the rain. Those are the two of the worst conditions ever to play in, and I just cannot stand it, because the ball seems to slip and slide everywhere. Any of your over top through balls that once worked were not going to work anymore. But it doesn't take long for Sturridge to bury himself a goal in the 11th minute. That was a really good start to the game, and like I said, Sturridge seems to be the one getting the goals, putting it in the back of the net. You know, I believe he is the top goal scorer at the moment in the Premier League, and just like I was saying earlier, Aubameyang just really isn't getting into the groove of things. There was a spell where he was just scoring goal after goal, but not at the moment. And as you can see, that is a really poor goal to concede. Feel free to rewind that and go and check out how poor Akinfeev was there when it came to conceding that goal. It was absolutely terrible. Really disappointed with that, and it ended up 1-1 due to a poor goalkeeping error. So Akinfeev seems to be a bit of a flop at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what I think of him. We're going to have to come around to January transfer window and really think about what we're going to do with him, how we're going to deal with it. Do we bring in another keeper, or do we just kind of wait it out and just see if he does get better? But at the moment, needless to say, I'm a little bit disappointed with his performances at the moment. But we have a game against Wigan, and that'll be it for next episode, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed this video, and like I said, I apologize for only one video out for the next few days, but I will do my very best to try and get that out to you. I'm not feeling too well today either. I was throwing up through the middle of the night, so I'm actually pretty glad I managed to get on the mic and give you guys this video. So I'll see you all in